Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes. Today, we're covering Dua Lipa and her new album, Radical Optimism. So, for a little context, we actually tried to talk about Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion album for last week. But the video got corrupted as we were filming it, so we weren't able to post it.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Which stinks that we felt like that was a good video.
Yeah.
And I know my mom really loved that album.
I did, a lot.
Like, she thought it was, like, really, really good.
Yeah.
And I was happy that I decided to go back and pick that one.
Right.
But I remember, or I wanted to cover this one because Dua Lipa is, like, probably, like, almost like similar to Carly Rae in a way where she's like a pop star of this era who's doing like kind of like different stuff compared to like what other pop artists are doing.
Okay.
And yeah, so but yeah, we wanted to dive back into some more pop music. And Dua Lipa is someone that I actually feel like I was a little late to the game for as far as like, because I usually like pop.
Right.
But I felt like I got into her a little later than other people.
Okay. I'd heard of her, but really I never listened to her song. I heard this one song that's famous right now. Is it Houdini?
Yeah.
I've heard that, but like I didn't even know it was her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I knew like when her first album, Dua Lipa, came out in 2017, it had some singles that I thought that were good.
Good.
But I just didn't get super into her. Mm-hmm. And then I remember when, I think it was Don't Start Now as the first single off of Future Nostalgia, which came out in 2020.
Okay.
When I heard that, I'm like, this is like no other pop artists are doing anything like this.
Okay.
It like was very disco-y, but like futuristic disco.
All right.
And I thought it was super cool. So I was like, okay, like I was looking forward to that album, and I ended up thinking that album was really, really, really good.
All right.
The Future Nostalgia album.
Okay.
So because of that, I was looking forward to Radical Optimism. Mm-hmm. Although when I heard Houdini, I was like this song is good. It'll get people dancing when like you go out or whatever. But I don't know.
It didn't hit for me.
It's to me. It almost sounds like a regression a little bit from, like, the sound of Future Nostalgia. Okay. Like, that one sounds more futuristic than this, even though we're 4 years into the future.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, before we get into this, I'll let you talk about if you know anything about Dua or some of your fun facts about her.
Some of my fun facts. So, again, I was getting to know Dua Lipa because she was showing up at all of these, like, famous events dressed really well, and they're always emphasizing who she is and her dress. And I knew it was Dua Lipa, and I knew she was a singer, but I guess I knew her more for that. Fun facts that I didn't know, that she starred as Mermaid Barbie in the Barbie movie. You said you know that. I had no idea.
Well, I mean, if I knew that it was her.
Yeah. Let's see. She is a global ambassador of Yves Saint Laurent. She is also a brand ambassador for Jaguar, the car.
I've seen her in the commercials.
Yeah, I thought that was something interesting. Like I said, over the last few years, she has like become fashion royalty. Like she was at the Met Gala. I didn't really like her outfit that much, but I've seen her dressed in other things, and obviously famous people are dressing her, so that's really cool. She has
a very like exotic look.
Yes, exactly, and that's what her Met Gala look was, 100%. She began her career at the age of 15, which I didn't know, and
modeling career.
Yes, her modeling career, and her given name, and I'm not saying this correctly, is Dukajin Lipa, which she's Albanian, which in Albanian her birth name and Dua both mean love.
I believe her family was from Kosovo, which is cool.
Okay.
That's like a country right by Albania.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And but I think she is from London. If I remember.
I know.
Or is she born in Albania?
She was born there, and then they said when she hit the age of 15, like she said to her parents, I really want to move somewhere where I can do more. And her parents were really for
her. Oh, so
her.
she grew up there?
Yeah, so her parents were
that.
really all about her. I don't know if she's her only child or not, but they were really like, they must have knew she had the it factor.
Yeah.
So they moved to London, and that's probably where she started her modeling career, because London, you've got everybody there. And then eventually she started her music career.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, it's funny, like, when we talk, like, I've brought up, like, people who are considered industry plants in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Dua Lipa is, like, this is why I don't think it's a negative thing, and people try to make it so negative.
No, it's not.
She's, like, the definition of an industry plant.
Okay.
Because she wasn't really, like, making music before the album Dua Lipa. That was, like, her first music. I mean, maybe she was making stuff on the side growing up. But,
yeah, but nothing.
But, like, nothing, like, that was released, like, as, like, you know, as the artist Dua Lipa.
Right.
She was, like I said, she was a model before that.
Yeah, she's beautiful. And every time I've seen her dressed for galas or whatever, she's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
I also think that's one of the reasons why her first album, like, sounded, so, to me at least, sounded so scattered and, you know, like, it wasn't complete. It was just, like, a bunch of random, like, pretty good pop songs.
So it was her first, like, official album.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like
it was just,
everywhere.
like, someone, this, like, super talented person that they just threw out there and had make a bunch of songs.
Gotcha.
But this album and Future Nostalgia definitely feel like she made these albums. Like, this is what she wants to make.
Okay.
So, to me, that, like, makes it a little more impactful.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so like always, we're going to talk about some of our favorite songs and then get into how we feel about the whole thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And the first song we picked is the first song on the album. It's End of an Era. This was one of my mom's picks. I'll admit, I probably would have picked this one too. One of the reasons is because the 3 singles are, like, very, for what it's worth, like, dark sounding.
Okay.
And I would say a lot of the rest of the music on the album is not that way.
Right.
And when I heard this song, I was like, oh, this is way different. Like, if you listen to, like, Houdini, then you listen to this.
Oh,
this is a lot,
so
like,
different.
brighter and, like, you know, like, summery.
Yeah, I didn't know Houdini was on the album, so I'm listening to this, I'm like, all right, and then I hear Houdini,
and then Houdini's
and
next, and you're like, this is, like, almost the opposite kind of sound.
Completely. Yeah,
and
I almost wonder why these aren't the first songs on an album. I wonder why they don't release them first.
Well,
like,
I mean, Houdini does feel like a single.
Oh, okay. All right.
At least that particular song.
Yeah, I don't know if this one would be a hit single, but...
Yeah. One of my songs later, I think, would have been a good single.
Okay.
But I'll let you talk about how you like End of an Era.
Okay. So, End of an Era, this is, some people think, okay, we don't know that it's true, but some people think it's about her new relationship with some actor named Caleb Turner.
I thought it was, like, about a breakup.
No, it's actually about a positive thing. So, and it's because, so there's a phrase.
It's the end of her single era, if I remember that.
Yeah, so there's a positive phrase that says, then you said, hey, and I said, hey, what's your name? And she's, like, talking about, like, how they got to know each other, you know, like, hey. And I like the countdown in the song, like, she's like, 1, 2, 3.
There's a lot of, like, talking.
Yeah.
I
really liked that countdown part. Instrumentally, it sounds really nice. It's very poppy, and I like how she changes. She's singing, and then she almost does, like, a musical rap. You know, it's like
Blondie-ish.
Yeah. I really liked that. I liked that there was that change up in the song. That hit me really hard. So I liked the song. It was good.
Songs like this, like, definitely embody the title, like, Radical Optimism.
Mm-hmm. So I saw the album cover, and I was like, okay, so she's in the ocean, and there's a shark coming at her. And so I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe it's Radical Optimism because it's, like, radical that she's in the ocean with a shark coming at her, but she's optimistic that she won't get eaten. But it's, like, something totally different. She said it's about being at peace with yourself.
Well, I mean, I guess that still works for what you said.
Yeah, so you're at peace with the fact that A
you
shark
might
won't
get
eat
eaten,
you.
or
I don't know.
or that you might get eaten.
Yeah. I totally thought that. I think it's a cool album cover.
Yeah,
So
I think it's a great album
Yeah,
cover.
so I was like, oh, okay, that's not what she really meant by that.
So, anyway, yeah, that's End of an Era. The next song we picked is These Walls.
Mm-hmm. That was yours?
And These Walls to me has a pretty similar sound to End of an Era.
Yes.
Like, they're both, it's funny, I think a couple of weeks ago when we were doing Uki, I brought up that she reminded me a little bit of like Sheryl Crow.
Mm-hmm.
This also gives me a little bit of like Sheryl Crow.
Very much.
This one more than These Walls.
Definitely.
Or, more than End of an Era, but that one too.
Bringing back that you said Uki, I brought up her to my students the other day because I'm like, how many of you know who G Idol is? And then I'm like, I brought up Uki, and there were so many kids who were like, I listened to that album, I loved the album. So I thought that was really cool for her that's like becoming a popular album.
It seems like it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, but back to Dua Lipa.
But so like I said, These Walls has like it's almost like 90s country pop-ish.
Yes.
Once again, very summery.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this like songs like this like being big like in a couple months.
Okay.
Like they're almost like kickback songs you
Okay.
play like when you're outside like cooking out or something.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
As far as the vocals go, I think I really like them on this song because she's known for this like deeper, more powerful voice,
Mm-hmm.
and you get that on a lot of these songs.
Oh, yeah.
But on These Walls, her voice is more like almost like dainty and delicate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not at the same kind of pitch as Ariana Grande, but maybe
Right.
like
not like that mystical pitch.
but like maybe like in tone or like
Yeah.
I don't know, like in how like hard or like soft she's singing.
Yes.
I should say.
Yes.
And I think that like the lyricism of this song is really interesting, like compared to the instrumental.
Okay.
Because the instrumental, like we've been saying, is very like positive and sunny,
Mm-hmm.
but the lyrics are like pretty sad.
Okay.
Because she's kind of like saying that like if the walls could talk, they would just tell us to break up.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
like they're
yeah,
just
yeah,
screaming at each other the whole time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what
Oh,
the
how
song is
sad.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's almost like she's trying to like ignore that. Like
Yeah.
that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Like with this positive sound.
Yeah, that's like a really good title to that song. Then These Walls, because
Yeah.
truly, people always say if the walls could talk. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she like it's almost like the sound is contrasting what she's actually talking about.
Interesting.
Which I like. That's one of the reasons I like this one because
Okay.
I think that's pretty cool. But so that's These Walls. Next is French Exit, which was one of my mom's picks. I will say this might have been one of my least favorite songs on the album. So I'm curious to see like why you like it.
So lyrically, the lyrics are okay. They are. What I really liked about this song, the whole song, was the instrumental. It starts off with a snare drum, and I just think that is so cool to like hear that. I mean, it's just like, it's just snare drum instrumental without her even singing, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. You don't really hear that on albums, starting off with the snare drum. Supposedly it's about her ex-boyfriend who was French, so she was exiting the French exit.
I like the lyrics of this more than I like the instrumental.
Interesting, and I am all about the instrumental.
I think the lyrics are kind of like quirky.
Yeah.
Like she's saying, like, do you know what like a French exit is?
Well, I thought it was because her ex was French, so she
well,
was
like
exiting the
a French exit is like when you leave without saying anything.
Oh.
Like just like leave and just like take off and no one knows you left.
Oh, so I wonder who in that relationship may have done that. Probably him.
I think she's saying she did it.
Oh, she did it. Okay.
Yeah.
She just
kind of cut it off.
She didn't even go like bye. She just kind of ghosted.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like what a French exit is, like ghosting.
Okay.
Yeah. So and like in the song, she's kind of saying she pulled a French exit on this guy. She's like everyone else is dancing around us.
Yeah.
And I just leave.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it had to do because he was a French person.
Well, maybe that too.
Right.
Like that might be part of it.
Right.
Which I didn't even know he was French. Like,
yeah.
now I'm learning that.
Yeah. But again, so you liked the lyrics,
Yeah.
and to me the lyrics were okay, but loved that snare drum, and it's throughout the whole song too. So
that's very 80s,
right? And
like,
I've always
to lead
said
with a snare.
if there was an instrument I would have taken up when I was growing up, it would have been the drums. I don't know why, but it would have been the drums. So that really caught me.
I like when a snare is like the lead beat for the song. I've always thought that's pretty cool.
Right. I think maybe
You know who's known for that? Although who obviously it's a completely different style of music is Dave Grohl.
Oh.
If you listen to a lot, especially Foo Fighters, if you listen to a lot of their songs, the snare is like the lead part of the.
Oh yeah, there's that one song I can't think of.
Everlong in particular, it's so iconic. But he's known for doing that. Like in Nirvana songs, he was doing that.
And he was the lead drummer for Nirvana, and he still drums for them.
He always leads with a snare, then goes to a tom. That's like his style.
I think for me too, maybe because growing up, I was a baton twirler, and I used to march in a ton of parades.
Oh,
and
lots of snare drums.
Lots of snare drums. So I think that's why it hit me really hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's French Exit. The next song we picked is another one of my picks. It's Illusion.
Mm-hmm.
So I originally was debating which song I should pick for my third. I was gonna go with Houdini because I think it is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I was a little underwhelmed by it, I will say, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
But this morning I actually picked Illusion. Right. I think this song came out a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And I think I just kind of missed it because there's been a lot of other stuff happening in the music that I just for some reason I knew that she came out with a new single before the album came out, but maybe I just didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
And I really, really like the hook on Illusion. I think this is almost just a better version of Houdini.
Okay. I'll have to go back and listen to that then.
It has a similar sound, 80. I think when the first thing I thought of when I heard Houdini was Thriller.
Okay.
I think the melody is just so similar to Thriller. The way she's dancing looks like Thriller.
Then you gotta wonder if it's like Houdini and then in a magician does illusions. Is there a link there? I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, I think definitely there's a link there. And maybe that's also why the songs sound kind of similar.
Okay.
Illusion probably should have been after Houdini in the track list.
Yes.
Good. If you listen to these back to back, I think they sound very. Illusion is almost like a futuristic version of Houdini.
Okay.
It sounds more modern in the production.
Okay.
But it still has that 80s funky pop bass line.
Okay.
And like I said, the main thing about Illusion that I really like is the hook. I think it's super, 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 super catchy.
Okay.
The way she fluctuates her tone on the hook is super cool.
Yep.
On this one. And it's stuck in my head right now.
Okay.
And I don't think she does anything because there are lots of points on this record. We haven't really talked about this yet, where her vocals are phenomenal. Even on the songs that you don't like that much, you're she's a really, really, really good singer.
Right. She has a beautiful, and like you said, the fluctuation.
Yeah.
She is so good with that.
What's weird for me is this song and These Walls, I feel have some of the most subdued vocals. But I really like those ones. It's almost like she, one, because she's showing a different side of her vocal style on these ones.
Right.
She's not really known for doing this as much.
Right.
And two, maybe just for me, the instrumentals on these ones are better.
Could be.
She could have, it's almost like they were relying on how good her voice was on some of the other songs, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I got onto Illusion this morning, and I think this is one of my favorite songs on the album now easily. I think this should have been the lead single over Houdini.
Okay.
But anyway, that's Illusion. The next one we picked was Falling Forever, which I definitely would have picked this one if you didn't. This is probably the best song on the album.
100%.
I think it's going to be a big summer hit.
It shows her voice.
Well, for
wow.
her, the vocals
Wow.
on this are the best vocals on the whole of the whole thing.
By the whole thing, she starts off the verse with like how long, but like her voice doesn't sound like the voice that she sings with, through a lot of her albums. It's like just a really like, I don't know, like it like fluctuates. She's like, I can't even sing, so I'm not even going to try it. But it's powerful. It is so powerful.
Yeah.
And she holds the notes really long. And I'm just like, oh
the
my gosh.
The power in her vocals on this one is nuts.
Amazing. This should have been like the lead song.
Yeah.
I think it really should have been.
I think Illusion should have been the lead single, and this also should have been a single.
100%.
And in my opinion, my next pick should have been a single.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Houdini or Training Season should have been singles.
No.
Maybe I wouldn't think they're like as, I'm not saying bad. I wouldn't
Right.
be as indifferent on them as much.
Right. Maybe they should start listening to us when we say
if
what you
they
should
weren't
have for
the
singles. Yeah. So her voice just.
Why wouldn't you have the
Unbelievable.
song where her voice is like this as like the lead
Exactly.
single?
Exactly.
You'd be
Especially
like,
when
holy
people
crap.
know who she is.
Yeah, like she can sing.
Yeah, really. That's just it. You listen to this and you're like, damn, she can sing.
Like, I want her to perform this one at award
live.
shows.
I would love to see
instead
this,
of Houdini. You know it's gonna be like Houdini.
And I really feel like she would be completely dressed different, like almost maybe in one of her, gala dresses singing this. Because
This song also makes me has a sound that's like similar to Future Nostalgia. This is super disco-y.
Okay.
And
Yes,
like Diana Ross style.
That's
disco.
totally what I thought of when
Yeah.
I was listening to it. I thought of Diana Ross immediately.
Yeah.
So the song itself is supposed to be about how long. It's about wanting to maintain a new relationship. So again, they think it's about this new boyfriend, Caleb Turner, and it's like how long can it keep just getting better? Can we keep falling forever? So it's kind of like, hey, this is a new thing. Can this relationship keep getting better? Can we maintain this and make it stronger? And so that's kind of like when you get that, like how long that just...
It's like
that,
she's pretty guarded.
She is really... like I said, I like this for her range in vocals. And the minute I heard this song, I downloaded it on my playlist. The minute I heard it.
Me, songs that, it's funny, I've said this where Drake will have this happen. Songs like this can literally save a whole album.
This is it.
To the point where you'll think fondly of this in the future. That was a good album.
Yeah.
Even
yeah,
if you
exactly.
Didn't
You're
like it,
you think about
you
that
love
song.
that song.
Yeah, it is so good.
That's almost like how Drake's last album is with the Rich Baby Daddy song.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
now you're like, for all the talk, that was a pretty good album.
It was.
But
It's
you're
like
at the time, you're like, this is 40 songs, and I like one of them.
I know. Maybe they should have started the album with this song. And
I'm
then
already
people would have,
thinking that
hooked.
with the Taylor Swift album.
Really?
With that song Florida is great.
I'm gonna
Best
admit,
song on the album.
I haven't listened to a lot of the whole new album. Obviously, I listened to the one with Post Malone. But maybe it was Florida that I did listen to, and it's just really. Her vocals on it are really good. I know we're diverting here, but her vocals are really good on that whole album, I thought.
I've always thought she's a good singer.
Yeah, she's a good singer. But this one, Falling Forever, nails it. Nails it. I'm going to say one of my favorite songs of the year.
Yeah, I could see, I think this is going to be huge, and I hope it becomes huge, so it becomes the song she sings, live at stuff.
I would love to see it. I can envision her in my head, how she'd be dressed and just everything. Oh, good song.
So the last song we picked is the last song on the album. It's Happy For You.
And she said that this is her favorite song on the whole album.
I just mentioned, I think this should have been another single over Training Season.
You people got to start listening
if Falling
to us.
Forever replaced Houdini, this should have replaced Training. Because once her vocals on this are great.
Mm-hmm.
In a different way than Falling Forever, they're not as powerful.
No, when you listen to Houdini, it's the same voice throughout the whole song, and like you said, you can dance to it. You said they play it, at dance clubs and bars, and they're not going to play Falling Forever at a club. I get that.
I think they could play Happy For You, though.
They could play Happy For You, but I don't know where they were going with this album. I really don't, but the power in her voice in some of these songs is great.
Yeah, like I think this one, like the title is really like reflective of like how the song sounds.
Okay.
It is like super uplifting and
Very
like
much
joyous music.
Yep.
The first thing I thought of when I heard this was Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yep.
It's very similar to like the music from that album we listened to last week.
Yep.
I thought you might pick this one because it's you liked Runaway With Me.
Yes.
This reminds me a lot of that song.
Yes.
Like it doesn't have the saxophone, but just like the other horns that like drive the melody.
Right.
It's a little more I guess like electronic than that song.
Right, but you brought up the horns. I did remember that about it, is that like that snare drum caught me in this one, and in this one the horns caught me.
And I like the way her voice like sits like with the horns on this song. It's really like it's just super pretty.
I love that she brought in so many different kinds of, like she had instruments that you don't really think about like as in the songs, like, and she sings well with them, like a snare drum or horns. You wouldn't expect that, but she's really good. She brought them in well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's happy for you. I just think it's a really positive song, and the vocals are really nice on it.
Yeah, I think that's what she said about it, is she wanted to end it because it was a more positive song. And
this song is, like, being sung to her ex, like, saying that she's, like, happy, like, that he looks happy in his relationship.
Good.
Like, that's what she's saying. She's like, you guys look great together. Like, I want you guys, like, to do well.
Yeah, that's nice. And then she made a song about it.
Ends on a very, like, nice note.
Yeah.
The way she goes back and forth between talking about her old relationship and her new one is, like, interesting on this album.
Very much so.
Like, there are songs that are, like, only about the new guy. This one's obviously about the last guy.
Right. So interesting that, like, and I don't hear male artists do this, but women always seem to like have a song about their ex somehow in them and their new relationship. Taylor Swift is obviously very famous for doing that.
What we're doing next week, this guy, all the music is about his ex. But
okay, time to move on, people.
But anyway, yeah, so those were our favorite songs from Dua Lipa's Radical Optimism.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how you felt about it, although you've kind of like said before I talk about my opinion.
Yeah, so I said this, it was for my first album to listen to her. It was okay.
I think you would like maybe we'll do that one soon. I think you would like her last album a lot more.
Right. I mean, there were songs that hit for me, obviously, but those that hit for me, it was more about the instrumentals.
This is one where the highs are really high.
Yeah.
Like the good songs are really, really, really good.
Right, like Falling Forever. Like that is the song that, like you said, it's kind of the song when they're talking about the album someday. I'll be like, yeah, it was a good album, because I'm going to remember that one.
I could see that happening for Happy For You too.
Right.
Where people remember that one.
Right, but like the rest of the album, I mean, with never having listened to her, I would give it between like maybe a 6.8 and a 7.
See, I think it's because like on some point I was going like back and forth on this because on some levels like there's a lot of songs that you just like and they just sound good.
Yeah.
So like why wouldn't I give it a higher rating? Her vocals are like phenomenal on this for what it's worth. Like they're so good.
They are so good.
She's easily one of the best singers like out there right now.
Yeah.
It's like not even a debate at all.
Right. Like I look at her beauty, I look at the fashion stuff, and then I hear that she can sing like this, and I'm like, wow, triple threat. Yeah. Really, triple threat.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, I just wanted more. Like, maybe it's because I liked the last album so much.
Right. And I never heard it, so I'm just
But you probably also thought it was going to be great because everyone says that one was great.
And they always talk about Dua Lipa. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I wrote about it, I gave it like around like a 6.5. Like I thought it was like kind of like okay.
Yep.
I would say like Ariana Grande, for instance, was a lot better than this.
Yes, definitely.
And I even think Taylor Swift's was better than this, and Taylor Swift's is like 35 songs. And like the fact that you can make a 35 song album and still have it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, like in a year when everyone still loves Falling Forever,
Yep.
or in 5 years,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna go back and be like, this was a good
It's
album.
a great album. I give
Yeah.
it an 8 or a 9. Yeah.
And maybe I'll appreciate the other songs more at that time.
Right, exactly.
But, yeah, anyway, that's how we feel about Dua Lipa's Radical Optimism. I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
We're East
East
Side
Side
Vibes,
Vibes.
and thanks for watching.
Bye.